New Year, everybody. So, starting now in January, we're going to be doing these review videos where we do monthly wrap ups for movies and theater we've seen once a month. Today's video is going to schedule to be posted on Monday. We will be talking about reviewing Christmas movies today and a few theater performances that we have seen recently. Well, one we've seen recently and one we saw at Thanksgiving time that we never got the chance to review.
And both of these places that we have playbills for theater, they took place at the Merrill Street Auditorium, which is in downtown Portland.
Okay, so what are we talking about first?
The first topic we'd like to talk about are some of the movies that we saw recently in between.
Okay, so the we during December we watch mostly holiday movies. Right before Christmas, the movie that we watched was Home Alone, which was the first time you saw the whole thing.
First time I saw the whole thing.
How did you like it?
It's a very classic movie. Macaulay Culkin plays this little 8-year-old boy named Kevin, and he is part of a family that which consists of several siblings.
Well, yes, and it's his siblings and his cousins who all get a trip to Paris through his dad's work, I think. And there's a theory that says that the McAllister's house is actually the house that Monica and Chandler move into at the end of Friends, which I thought was interesting. So Macaulay Culkin actually just got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His ceremony was right before Christmas, so that's pretty exciting for him. I saw some clips on Instagram of him and Catherine O'Hara together at the ceremony. Catherine O'Hara was the one who played his mom. She's also from Beetlejuice and Schitt's Creek. Um, and then um, my other favorite family member of Kevin's is probably one of his sisters who actually appears to be nice and caring, and she's the only one who realizes she's missing. I think her name is Heather, but I'm completely blanking on her name. And there is also another fan theory that states that Kevin is Jigsaw because he creates a lot of traps for the robbers to go through in this movie, and basically this fan theory posits that he grows up to be Jigsaw from the Saw movies. And I can't really comment on that theory because I do not want to see the Saw movies because I don't like horror movies. So, how would you rank Home Alone? And who are your favorite characters in Home Alone?
In Home Alone, I especially like Kevin and also Catherine O'Hara, the mom. But also, I would give this rate classic A minus.
Me too. So the next thing we wanted to talk about is the Nutcracker. So we saw this way back on Thanksgiving Day weekend. We never got the chance to review it just because the holidays were such a hectic time. So I got Matt tickets to the ballet for his 40th birthday. We went to see the Nutcracker. What is your favorite part of the Nutcracker?
There's many good parts about the play itself. My favorite parts are where I can hear my favorite classical tunes, such as the Waltz of the Flowers. And not only that, I also like Princess Clara and the scenes where she is with the dancing. Plus, she's with the Nutcracker who turns into a nice prince.
My favorite scenes are the Sugar Plum Fairy, um, the Waltz of the Flowers, and the Russian dance. Because the Russian dance kind of makes me think of the bottle dancers and Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes, we've seen Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay, so the next movie we wanted to talk about is The Holdovers. The Holdovers is available on Apple TV Plus. Um, And a cool fact I want to share is that my uncle Ernie has a cameo in the bowling alley scene that is close to the very end of the movie because it was filmed in the bowling alley that he has his weekly bowling league at. So I think it's pretty cool. If you keep your eagle eyes out, he's in the background in a yellow sweater. So please keep your lookout for him in that movie.
And because this time period is December of 1970, the bowling alley not only is the candlepin, which is popular here in New England and Canadian Maritimes, but it also has the old fashioned look where we go back to the days of all pencil and paper and that type of scoring that we learned to add.
Mm-hmm. So the holdovers takes place in Massachusetts, and it's about four boys who kind of like have a holiday detention during Christmas vacation because they're all stranded at the school and none of them can go home for various reasons. Like one of the boys is supposed to go on vacation with his family to St. Kitts, which is in the Dominican Republic or something, but his trip ends up getting canceled. And then the other there are two international students who can't go home because they live in other countries, and then the other kid I just think is a juvenile delinquent who just got detention and got to stay at the school over Christmas because he had nowhere else to go. The movie was pretty good. It was slow in the very beginning, but as it got closer to the um climax, it got more interesting. And um what did you think of the holdovers?
It's a nice concept. I would give that a B plus.
Is it another movie we will be watching every Christmas?
Well, it depends because, as you said, it was on Apple TV, and I want to see if we have that streaming service or it comes out on DVD.
I hope it will come out on DVD. I have no clue. Um, the next movie that we wanted to talk about is the new Willy Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet. Um, we so our friends saw this on December 30th. We saw it on January 2nd. Um, how would you compare the more recent version of the Willy Wonka movie to the original one with Gene Wilder and the 2005 remake with Johnny Depp?
The first two Wonka movies really are based on Roald Dahl's original story of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Mm-hmm.
which I can remember reading myself back when I was in third grade. But fortunately, in this concept of Wonka, it's how the character himself developed his secret formulas to make his special chocolate and candies, well before he even had the big Wonka factory. And in the movie, he was up against three rivals who, taken from this concept from Roald Dahl, were spies trying to steal his famous recipe.
So basically, in the new version of the Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet, Slugworth, who is originally in the other two movies as somebody who's like a minor character, is the villain, and he's also the uncle of this little orphan girl named, what was her name? The girl that looked like the girl from Annie.
Now I forget her name.
I don't remember her name either. Um so basically this version of Willy Wonka is like kind of a prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So it basically tells the backstory of how Willy Wonka started his chocolate factory, and there's also a sweet flashback scene between him and his mom when he was a child that I thought was cute, and his relationship with the little orphan girl character who works in the place where the boarding house where he's staying, um is also very sweet. um did you like any of the songs from the Willy Wonka from the
Yes,
new
I did like a couple of the songs.
Which ones did you like?
I liked the one where they did that number where they were inside Wonka's shop.
Do you remember the name?
I don't remember the name.
I can get my phone to look it up. Hang on. Wonka movie songs. Okay, this is not helpful. Alright, well, maybe I can pull up the text message conversation.
So, so the Wonka movie, I gave this one a B. And what happens was with this concept in Timmy Chalamet, it turned out that this Wonka, compared to the other two movies, was the least popular of all. No one could top Wonka with Gene Wilder in the original film.
Where, nope, that's not the right one. I have too many text messages for group chats. Let's see. So our friends from New Hampshire had mixed reviews of this movie. Our friend Patty gave it a B, and our friend Sonia gave it an A plus. So when we averaged out our ratings between everybody, we just gave it a solid B. Um,
And the weekend that they saw the Wonka play, we actually had a visit with them in Dover, New Hampshire. And there was this candy shop called Lickies and Chewies, where they have a nice list of nostalgic candy and candy around the world. Angie and I bought some stuff like malted milk balls and jelly beans, and I still have a little box of British Simpkins fruit suckers. And we also brought home a couple bottles of soda that I don't often find much anymore in regular convenience stores. So it's located right in Dover, New Hampshire, and it looks like a hidden jewel because it's inside an apartment building in the Mills. And when we took a walk there was still a big flow of water flowing from when we had a storm here in New England back on December 21st. But since then, this week alone, we've had two kind of powerful rainstorms here. One going on today, and then we had another one in the middle of this past week.
A World of Your Own was the song that we all seemed to really like from the Wonka movie. That was the song I believe that Willy Wonka sings when he's thinking about opening his factory and creating all the candy. So, yeah, that was our favorite song. But, like, I think the most memorable songs are from the original movie with Gene Wilder, such as
Pure imagination.
Pure Imagination and the Oompa Loompa song.
And
And
by the way, in the Wonka movie, the Oompa Loompa that came to Wonka for his aid was much like in the original Gene Wilder film, with orange skin and green hair and overalls. And then we got one more movie that we'd like to discuss now.
we do? What is it? Oh, The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the Little Mermaid live action.
So, we are rewatching all of the live action and Disney animated movies to compare them for a big review video that we're going to be doing in February because we just started our process of rewatching them and we're also going to be adding a new movie to the list because I really want to see the new Peter Pan and Wendy live action movie, so I figured we could add Peter Pan to our list of movies we're going to compare. So for the Little Mermaid live action movie, Lin Manuel Miranda was one of the composers of the music along with Alan Menken. So uh there are most of the original songs from the animated cartoon are in the live action movie, but there are two songs that were originally written for this movie. Um, One is called Scuttlebutt, which is sang by Scuttle when they go to wake up Ariel and Sebastian, and she basically sees that Ursula was in a disguise and she's planning to trick people to marry Prince Eric. And the other song is sung by Prince Eric, and it's about like going out to travel the countryside to try to find the person who saves his life. And I am having so much trouble remembering the name of the song. Oh, here I have it right here actually. It is called Wild Uncharted Waters. So who are your favorite characters in the live action Little Mermaid?
Obviously, Ariel, because since Gina and I have watched it twice now, we did it once last year in May in the theater, and we got the Little Mermaid live action movie for Christmas. I've gotten to understand how Bailey had a nice voice and nice soul. Plus, I like the return of many of the characters like Flounder and Sebastian, and obviously Prince Eric.
So Prince Eric's live action character looks extremely similar to the animated version. My friend Kate and I both agree about this. Um my favorite character in the live action Little Mermaid is probably Sebastian because he is voiced by Daveed Diggs from Hamilton. But also I like Scuttle and Ariel and Prince Eric and the Queen. Now it's interesting because Prince Eric's family is not really in the cartoon, but his mother was added to the live action movie, which adds a little bit more depth to the royal family because you don't really get to see Prince Eric's parents in the cartoon. So, yeah, our ranking of live action Little Mermaid still remains the same at A minus.
And the final thing we'd like to discuss is the play that we saw last night.
It's called Come From Away, and it is at the Merrill Auditorium in Portland until the end of this weekend, meaning two more shows tonight, no shows tomorrow.
And by the way, as we're talking now, the show's all three performances got sold out.
So, this is a musical that is set during the time of 9/11 when the planes crashed into the World Trade Center, and it's set in Gander, Newfoundland. And it's basically about how all of the planes that were flying all around the world got redirected into Gander, and how the community comes together to um, be of service to all of the stranded passengers. This this musical has sort of a small cast and multiple people play multiple characters. That part was confusing to me sometimes, and I know that it confused my parents and my sister too, because it was a hard time going back and forth determining which character was which. What were your favorite songs in the play last night, would you say?
Now, some of my favorite songs from the play, Somewhere in the Middle of Nowhere, and that was when the whole crew was flying back from Gander. Plus, I also liked On Edge and Prayer, and I also enjoyed I Am Here. And this show runs for 1 hour 40 minutes without intermission.
My favorite songs from Come From Away are the opening number, Welcome to the Rock, Prayer, like he just said, Me and the Sky, and Stop the World.
And the
So,
composing music, sounded a little different than normal because it had electric guitars, fiddle, accordion playing. It sounded like traditional music that you would expect from Eastern Canada, like Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. And my mother and stepfather are very accustomed to music like that.
Yes, they are. And actually, when I was texting your mom this morning, she asked me about the play, and I mentioned that there was fiddling music, and she said that she knew about that. So, thank you for tuning into our video, our next review video, where we will be recapping live action movies. Will be out when live action and animated comparisons with
So
Disney.
look for this next video in about a month or so.
Will we review the rom-com movies in the same video as the Disney movies, or are we doing two separate
We're going
videos?
to do two separate.
Okay, do you know the dates for those two videos yet?
No, dates are unknown. So Jean and I are going to watch them, and then when we get a nice blend to talk about, then we will make those videos then.
Okay, great. So please stay tuned for those videos. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for tuning
And
in.
have a great Martin Luther King Day weekend, kids.